The South African Social Security Agency says it's received over 14 million applications for the special COVID-19 social relief of distress grant. The agency has confirmed that over 10 million applications have been approved to date. SASSA says over 4 million applications were declined due to various reasons. To talk about this then, we're joined by SASSA spokesperson Paseka Letsatsi. Mr. Letsatsi, always good to have you on News at Prime. Welcome. So 14 million special grant applications received, 10 million approved. Talk to me about the balance and who's received feedback and who hasn't.
Thanks. Good afternoon, Tabitha, and thanks for having us. I think what we can say is that there's about 14 applications which came through, but 10 million obviously have been approved and 4 million were not approved, were rejected because of various reasons. Some of these reasons, Tembekile, could vary from people who were found to be appearing on other database. For an example, people who were appearing on UIF, others were appearing on the NSFAS database, but that doesn't end there. These people who were rejected, the 4 million of them, have an opportunity to appeal because we know that the people who might be appearing on the UIF database who are not necessarily getting anything, they do have that particular opportunity to make that particular appeal. But we just want to inform our people that even if you make an appeal, you need to make sure that you are in touch with UIF to make sure that your name is removed from the UIF, so that when you make an appeal, we would not necessarily find your name again and reject you for a second time.
And that reconsideration process, how long is it? Because when you listen and read some of the community newspapers, a lot of people still say that they are rejected and then are in limbo for quite a while.
Not necessarily, Tembekile. What we simply do when we made an application and you are rejected, we give you a 30 days grace period to make an appeal, because we know that there are certain things that you need to take care of. And once you make an appeal, we do the processes, because we do the verification process every month. So it shouldn't be a lengthy process, because we know as the South African Social Security Agency that people need to access the 350, because obviously one day which pass for people not having the 350, it's very long. So we can't prolong the processes and so on, but we take them through a particular process, and it is very quick. I can put my head on the block about that once you are rejected, you sort the processes up from your side. We are able to sit down. We have a team of people who sit down and make a reconsideration processes, verification, so that those who are supposed to be getting the 350, who are eligible, are only those who can then be able to access the 350. I have to mention this, Tembekile, that we also understand that there are people in the last payment cycle who tried their luck, who tried to make sure that they apply for the 350 when they do not actually succeed. So the system is such that it's very tight. It will pick up anything that is anomaly from Home Affairs, from UIF, from NSFAS, and so on. So when you are rejected, please make sure that you follow the process. You do the appeal within 30 working days.
You've got 10 million approved applications. By yesterday, Wednesday, you'd paid out about half of that, 5 million. How many more have you been able to cover in the last or the most recent 24-hour window?
What we do at Tembekile, we basically do the verification every month, because the status of people changes from one month to the other. You might find that this month you are not employed, but obviously the following month, the status of an individual changes. We are delighted in actual fact, Tembekile, that 5 million people have been paid. It doesn't end there. We'll also make sure that we pay people so that we finalize and everybody gets their money. And remember, Tembekile, we have the 350 people. We also have your normal SASSA payment grant, and we do not necessarily want them to go and get their money at the same time. The intention here, Tembekile, is to make sure that we do not necessarily have people flocking at our pay points, because we are trying to make sure that we keep the spread of the COVID-19.
And something else that I was struck by in your statement is that there's no fixed date, correct, for the payment of the special relief of distress grant. Now, that then, to my mind, poses an issue if these are people who are so desperate for any kind of financial assistance. I mean, it's 350 Rand. It's not a lot to most people, but if you don't know when you're going to get it and it's the only money you're expecting, that's a bit dicey.
No, true. You're 100% correct, Tembeki. What we simply do, because we have to take people through a particular process. One, we can mention here that people's conditions change every month. But secondly, we need to make a verification process. But obviously, if we say we do not necessarily pay on the 15th of every month or the 20th and so on, because we need to make sure that people's status have changed or remain the same. So that is why we also check the days in which people get paid. We do not necessarily want to have a lump sum of people getting paid at the same time. So this we are communicating to make sure that people do not necessarily stress. If they got paid on the 10th of December, the expectation must not be that on the 10th of January, the payment will be made. But obviously, it is within a month. They will definitely get what is due to them.
Mm-hmm. Something else I want to ask you as a final question is to do with the post office payout system. I made it pass through one of the centers yesterday, and there was quite a significant number of people who'd lined up waiting to get this money. How effective is that process now compared to when we started paying out the 350 Rand last year? Has it improved?
No, it has, Tembeki, and we have a meetings with the post office to make sure that we make sure that the systems are tied up. But what we want to appeal to each and every individual who has applied for the 350 is that do not go to the post office to queue and ask for the 350 if you have not gotten an SMS from us, because it is only when we have an SMS from us that your money has been deposited at the post office that you can then be able to access it. And we have experienced, or we have observed, and unfortunately, and we want to appeal to our people that do not go to the post office if you do not have an SMS. And I think it has been something that we are trying to communicate to the public together with the post offices to make sure that there are no queues at post offices. But we find a situation where, because my neighbor got their 350 and I'm still waiting for an SMS, I go with him to the post office and he creates unnecessary queues. We are appealing to each and every individual. Please wait for an SMS before you go and get your money from the post office.
Paseka Letsatsi, spokesperson for the South African Social Security Agency. Thank you for your time, sir. Have a great rest of your evening.